Hello again, Struckquap. Welcome back to my channel, to my stream, where today I will be testing something called Quash Artifacts of Chaos. It's a game that was in my list, my monthly Struck list for high-profile games for March, and it was on my to-do list. I was just busy playing Geofield. Wanted to get as much Geofield as I could. And now that I'm finally bored and done with Geofield, I want to play more of that. I want to play something a little more fast-paced to warm up for Diablo. Tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. United Kingdom time, 6 p.m. my Woke Sofia time is when the beta starts of Diablo 4. So expect me at that time, maybe a little earlier, maybe a little later, depending. You might expect to see me standing in a big massive queue. That's what this beta will be about stress testing the servers. So there will be massive queues. Most likely we'll be staring at the queue for 1, 2, 3 hours. We will see how it goes. I've prepared a bunch of sweet stuff, a bunch of high protein stuff like jerky and so on. So I'm ready for a streamathon. Hopefully my body is as ready as I hope it will be. Welcome back to IR Baboon. Sorry for speaking to you a little later. I saw your message right away. Just wanted to get all the messages I wanted to, all the things I wanted to say first out of the way. So yeah, we'll be testing Quash Artifacts of Chaos. Hopefully, I like it. Hopefully, it's a good fast-paced warm-up. What I understood about this game is extremely difficult. Well, we'll see how long before I rage quit this game if it's extremely difficult. We'll see how that goes. Let me quickly check something on my video setting on my camera. See, that's a little better, a little brighter. Brighter. Gotta make sure it's the right white balance. Okay, I think we're ready to dig in. Start new game. Select SWAT. Boom. So what always grabbed me about this game when looking at trailers was the ability to switch from first person to third person and vice versa. There aren't that many games that let you do this. And it's nice. It's nice that we can get that. I mean, if you want to go even better, make it to be able to play first person, third person, or isometric, like in Diablo. So imagine a Diablo game where you can switch to first person or third person, where you can switch to third person Witcher style camera, or first person Borderlands style camera. Well, there isn't one such so far, but this gets close, except it's not a Diablo style game. And it definitely doesn't have isometric camera. Boxing, swash, spear. Oh wait, I think I'm hearing my voice. I need to post something. No, it's not. Wait, from where am I hearing my own voice? I'm not watching my stream on Twitch. I'm not watching it on YouTube, and I'm not watching it on Trovo. Okay, maybe it was a voice from the game, but very quiet, because it sounded as if I'm hearing very quiet a stream voice in the distance. But I think it was just the game.
Show me how you attack an enemy.
Just a moment.
Are you sure this is the technique you prefer? Show me how you attack an enemy. Are you sure this is the technique you prefer?
Let's see the swash stance.
Show me how you attack an enemy. Are you sure this is the technique you prefer?
So there's two different stances. Not sure which one I prefer. This one gives you range, but it's slow.
Are you sure this is the technique you prefer?
Maybe I can change it later. Let's go boxing.
Show me how you attack an enemy. Are you sure this is the technique you prefer?
I think I'm sure.
Good. Now attack your opponent one more time.
The camera might take me a while to get used to because it's over the shoulder third person and it's too close. I can't zoom out, but I think I can change the field of view from the settings.
You are not as strong as the creatures that inhabit
And it
this
has been
land.
confirmed.
You
There
must
will be
regain
DLSS
speed.
3
Try again.
in Diablo 4. I would have been surprised if they didn't add fake frames in the game. Hopefully they add the AMD version when it's ready. Hopefully. And hopefully the game runs smoothly without fake frames, and the fake frames are just if you're trying to push 240 Hz or higher monitors and stuff like that. What does it ask me to do?
Good. Your speed and agility will allow you to deal with those who are stronger than you. Evade your enemy's blows when possible. But remember, it is the flow from one move to another that is the core of your training. Now show me the special move I taught you. And now for a final lesson. From an ordinary attack to the special move.
Combo?
Perfect. Remember, speed is the core of your defense, but it is also the core of your offense.
Directional attacks.
Your speed has given you the means to destroy your enemy. Pseudo, can you hear the music?
Pseudo. Interesting name for
It
a
is time
character.
for you to wake up.
Okay. Interesting quality map. I can see my frames per second. The NVIDIA drivers, which I updated yesterday, don't seem to show it in the GeForce experience. I can't wait to be done with the stupid, annoying GeForce experience. That's full of glitches and bugs, and 9 out of 10 times refuses to show me FPS and stuff. Hopefully the adrenaline software of AMD isn't as bad as people say it is. Hopefully it's better than the NVIDIA, because it's gonna be hard to be worse than NVIDIA's GeForce experience, to be honest. I might as well buy a license for that FPS monitor I've got on my machine, the free version. I might just get the paid version and just check my FPS from there when I need to. Just a moment, Sky wants some food. I'll give you food, just... What's up, Gottes? Welcome back. Are you excited for Diablo tomorrow? Less than 24 hours. Like 20 hours and 20 hours and a half. You're not excited? What? You're not gonna watch anyone play Diablo? Are you not that big of a Diablo fan? You're more of a chill life skilling game kind of person like Harvestella. Let's see. For me, the hype is real. I'll finally be able to sink my teeth into some some low level Diablo 4 content. And it will be a good test to see how well the game runs, because I'm still using my old graphics card, because Bulgaria, for whatever reason, still hasn't gotten stock from Seasonic of their new power supplies. I'm constantly getting emails from a Romanian retailer, not one, just a few, because I registered in multiple neighboring country Romanian retailers to send me alerts when they have stock of that power supply. So I know that our neighboring country has it in stock and it's not getting buyed out, yet my country doesn't have it in stock, and it's weird. It's already been more than 2 weeks since Central Europe and other European countries got the new Seasonic power supplies, where in Bulgaria no one is fucking stocking it up. Is it because they're not making much money and the retailers just refuse to stock it because there is small margins to be made? In the end, I might just order something from abroad and pay an exorbitant amount of delivery if by the end of this month the Bulgarian retailers don't stockpile on this power supply. He's saying he believes that the first week will be a disaster. It's not even gonna be a week. It's only gonna be 3 days of beta, and then another 3 days next weekend. And that's what those weekends are. Those weekends are to stress test the servers, so that they have an idea, roughly, of what interest the game has. That's why the betas. I mean, they are making an open beta. Open. Everyone can play the open beta. Not this week, next week. So even if people didn't buy it, this week they won't be able to play it. But if they didn't buy it next week, they will be able to play it. And I strongly suggest everyone who has an interest in the game to at least participate in the stress testing. Even if they don't want to play much, at least try logging into the servers, give them an idea of how many people have interest in the game, help with the stress testing. Even if you don't want to spoil yourself the first act, the least you could spoil yourself with is maybe some character creation and stress testing the servers. Everybody wins. The more people stress testing the game before it launches, the better it would be on launch, because they would try to probably scale the server capacity based on the numbers they're seeing in the beta, maybe. So I can maybe change my stances later. For now, I'm switching to I'm sticking to boxing because I probably don't have the other ones unlocked. So you can have two stances, but for now I only have single. And I can have spin kick, special attack, and later on I can have two more when I unlock them. We have power, endurance, aggressiveness, and constitution as the stats. As for general combat stats, there's stamina guard, attack bar, tension resistance, stun resistance. Okay. I'm level 0. Wow. A game that starts you off at 0. Taking from 0 to hero literally in this game. So that's my base. I can brew health potions here. I can sleep here and rest. There's inventory, and where was that thing earlier with the powers? It was here. The dummy. Okay, so where do I go to fight?
Where's that music coming from?
I'm saying you don't believe anything you remember. D2 rest the shit. The same happens over and 1,000 and characters disappear, and not only that, disconnections. Aha. Well, did Diablo 2 Resurrected have an open beta for 3 days? Like an open beta where everyone, regardless whether they purchased the game, could try it out. I remember testing Diablo in some sort of beta state, Diablo Resurrected, and then rage quitting because it wasn't what I hoped it would be. but I can't remember if that was an open beta um, for a few days or whether it was just um, a single player only one. I can't remember with Diablo 2 Resurrected testing whether it was multiplayer the one I tested or whether it was the single player only version. Although I don't think it had single player only version, maybe it didn't. The Resurrected one, not the original. So training dummies. I'm fighting
Can't
training
get through
dummies.
these.
Picked up fur. Metal scrap. Wait, what? I think this is some training area still. You're saying that Diablo 4 will be worse than we thought. Depends what you think. I think that the first day or two of this test we're doing tomorrow will be awful. But again, you're comparing PlayStation data. I'm comparing PC data. PlayStation servers. Well, that's a completely different thing because there's the PlayStation network to think of. Whereas PC, it's just the Blizzard servers. There is no PlayStation network involved. Xbox, again, I think it's a little better. So I think it will be similar to Overwatch. With Overwatch, I think it took them on launch with Overwatch 2, it took them like 2 days to get things stable. And that was a free-to-play game that everyone could play. And it's not a Diablo game that's very niche, although it's a huge niche. But Overwatch has a much bigger audience, in my opinion, in terms of demographic. Because Overwatch is played by even the kids like the Fortnite crowd. The Fortnite crowd, competitive kids play Overwatch, whereas I don't see much of the Fortnite crowd, the Fortnite generation, the Generation F, for lack of better word letter, the F generation. I don't see this new F generation, the younger ones. I don't see the majority of them testing Diablo, but I do see some of them testing Diablo. Like they have Overwatch and they see a new game on the launcher, and they might think, okay, let's try this shit. Let's see if I like it. Well, we'll see how that goes. I hope there's a lot of people stress testing. I hope we
There's
break the
again.
servers as much as possible in those tests so that they get enough data to work with, and then on launch there is less amount of stress testing going on in the first couple of days, and maybe they can fix it in the first or second day and not take a week or so. Oh shit. Oh, what do I do? Wait, what? What is happening? I fell through the fucking ground. I fell through the ground. I'm telling you, I'm a bug magnet. My bug magnet ability strikes again. Here I go again. It hasn't even been half an hour since I started playing. And I've already found some bugs. Yeah, the beta is tomorrow in about like 20 hours. 20 hours from now. 9 a.m. Pacific. 6 p.m. Your time. Your time is 6 p.m. UK 4 time to anyone from Europe. Central Europe 5 p.m. In United Kingdom 4 p.m. I'm not sure where to go. Is this game maybe giving me a little bit too much freedom? Ah, I see. Maybe I should go where the light is. Yeah. Seems reasonable to have to go there. If only I knew how to get there. There's an NPC here, maybe we should ask. No. Do I have like a quest? This game needs to hold my hand a little bit when it comes to navigation. I have no idea where I'm supposed to be. Is there a quest? Not seeing a quest walk or anything. I think I came from here. No. I know I'm supposed to go up. Just can't remember how I got up earlier. Aha, maybe from here. Ah, fuck. Do I climb this thing? This looks like something I can climb. Aha. I have to press E. James Cooper says, what do you think with the artifacts, materials and all that? How do you combine them? What do you mean by how do you combine? What artifacts? Wait, what game are you talking about? Are you talking about this game? I've just started, so I have no idea. I'm still in the tutorial stage, or whatever the first stage after the intro is. Uh, since since this game is called Artifacts of Chaos, I'm assuming you're talking about it. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, I really have no idea about artifacts yet. I I I have found this thing, humiliation artifact, and that's pretty much it. Most likely there will be a crafting bench. Most likely. I saw a cauldron. I saw a cauldron to craft potions. So I'm sure there is some sort of potion crafting, and probably there will be a crafting bench for the artifacts. Ah, fuck. How do I block? How far in the game are you, by the way? Just wondering, because if you're not that far, maybe you should be able to see some crafting stations soon. I'm assuming by the time we're done with this tutorial, first initial steps, maybe then would we be able to to do some crafting. Let's see. I'm getting a lot of materials, thankfully. At least I'm getting that. Okay, I'm seeing something glowing there. Maybe that's my objective. It better be. Oh, this is where I died. I'm waking up my old self. This is where I fell. Yeah, this is where I fell and glitched into the ground. And it teleported my corpse here because the corpse was out of the map. Special armors available. Yeah, I already saw that. Oh, I didn't see this one. Peacock feathers. What do they do? I can see the armors give me stuff, whereas the other one seems to be just body paint. I like the blue and yellow. I'm really digging the cell shading. Oh, and let me show you something very cool. In the settings, if you go to rendering style, you can change stuff like the distortion of the lines. You can change it to quash or black and white. There's hatching line sizes. So if you notice here, do you see those lines? And that's the size of those lines. And you can even animate them if you feel like it. You can reduce the effect if you see here. That's kind of reducing this cell shaded. That's not the cell shading, but that's the effect on top of it. And then there's the animate lines thingy. I'm assuming animating the lines might be a little bit more demanding on the machine. So that's very, very cool. To those of you watching that are not playing the game, that might be something you might want to mess around with to see your sweet spot. So you're where I am in the same mission. Interesting. Well, I guess we just have to figure out the end of this mission, and then maybe by the time we're done with this one. Okay, I picked artifact. The opponent can be summoned in a future fight as an ally. This fight must be won for the artifact to take effect. So, in order for that artifact to take effect, I need to beat a certain opponent. And the opponent is... You see this thing here that looks like a potion. I'm assuming once I craft something, maybe I would unlock slots for artifacts. See, 1, 2, 3. I think there will be 3 slots for artifacts to equip them. Did I just drop that artifact? What happened? Or did I equip it but the interface didn't show it? And there is the ritual belt. Yeah, I think this thing here needs to unlock, and then maybe I would be able to do something with them. My guess is the game will teach you once you're at a certain point. So let's try and get to that point. How do I know where I'm supposed to go? Up here, it's dead end.
I'd rather keep my skin on.
The game size is 84 gigabytes. I can tell you on PC it's 84 gigabytes. I already downloaded it. You don't need to tell me. It might be 70 gigabytes on PlayStation, but the Diablo 4 beta size, that's not probably the exact full game, although most likely it contains a big chunk of the game. But if you have the high quality textures, the high quality textures included, it's 84 gigabytes or 86 or something like that. Because I downloaded it yesterday. Um, um, at least that's how much I remember downloading yesterday. Let me double check. Diablo 4 beta properties 77.3. Okay, it's 77.3 gigabytes. It was showing me 80 something, but maybe didn't download the full number. 77.3. That's on PC with the high textures pack, which I don't need right now because I don't have a 4K monitor. Um, but I downloaded it just in case because it says ultra settings will be the high texture stuff will be needed for ultra settings, and I do plan on playing on ultra once I get a new power supply to power my new graphics card. But for now, in this game, I am lost. The developers of this game really need to do a little bit more hand holding. They need to do a little better when it comes to telling the player where to go, because I'm lost. I have no idea where I'm supposed to go, what I'm supposed to
I'd
do.
rather keep my skin on.
Every place I try to get to is blocked. And I'm looking for that beam, for that light, and it seems to be gone. I no longer see the beam. If there is no longer a beam, what does that leave me with? Where am I supposed to go if I don't know the direction? I just keep climbing and F heal. Aha! What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh! Okay. Interesting. Where to now? Hmm, progress.
The sound. It's coming from over there.
We're progressing. Just checking. Okay. Cutscenes.
Please, we have nothing to give you. I do not wish to fight.
I have an artifact, old man.
No, Grandpa, don't do it.
We are not Corwid's child. This is the only law, and we must obey it. Let's get it over with, stranger.
So, artifact. The opponent will be stunk continuously if they stop moving. The ritual is a brief game of chance and strategy where each participant can choose a consequence artifact. Only the player who wins the ritual gets to activate their artifact, which will be spent to confer an advantage in the upcoming fight. Aha! So artifacts, as you can see, this if you win, you get that artifact to activate during the fight. So you do like a ritual before a battle. And then the battle commences. But if you didn't win the ritual, your artifact won't be activated. But if you do win, okay. Roll the dice. Oh, RNG. Be good to me, RNG, please. Be gentle, RNG. Change your wood with chucks. Chucks are tools that modify the value of dice in the play area. Choose which chuck to use on your turn and where to place it. Whoever has the highest dice score by the end of the match will be the winner of the ritual. Well, I rolled shit. He rolled good. 11 versus 16. How do I do a chuck? Affect all dice between reduce 1.2 dice value.
Not fair.
Ah, motherfucker. He got lucky. I mean, 655. No, 6 and a 5. He got one less than the maximum he could get. And I'm not playing with my character, I'm playing with that old guy. Maybe I'm supposed to lose this one. Yeah, this guy was supposed to lose, I mean. Poor guy. He has only one hand. And he's an old, exhausted, tired guy.
Is he dead? I didn't. He was so weak. You killed him.
I'll increase the volume of the voiceover after this.
I have another artifact.
It's pretty low, I
Don't
can
want to
barely
end
hear
up
it.
like the old man. I don't have any dice. Then I've already won. I get to hit you first. One of those sentences is true.
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Should have kept you.
Grandpa is dead.
Yes,
What should I do?
you should say the words. Did he teach you?
He did.
Say the words.
His bones are earth. His flesh is dust. His breath.
His breath is wind.
His breath is wind.
Good. It's over.
This guy's a dickhead.
Where will I go?
Why is his head so long? And why does he have no neck? I'm a big fan of Ace Team, the developers of this game who made the Eternal Cylinder. I'm a big fan of their art team. They're very good at designing unique looking worlds and creatures and stuff. If you haven't, if you don't know what the Eternal Cylinder is, you can Google it and you see what I mean when it comes to weird creatures. And this game, another one of their creations when it comes to unique looking worlds and creatures. Level 1 now. Good music as well. Do we go into the house? Doesn't seem like I can go into the house. I can't run either. Okay, I guess I'm supposed to go there through that gap here in the fence. Wait, where do I go? I cannot go there. Invisible wall. There are invisible walls. Maybe I need to do something to the big boy. Let's camp. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. Available. Prepare health brew. Sunflower. Rabbit. See, I love this. I love potion crafting systems. In my own game design, I've included some sort of potion crafting system. And James Cooper just subscribed. Thank you very much, James Cooper, for subscribing to my YouTube channel. Welcome officially to the Struck Club. So this is where you craft your potions in this cauldron. Should I try something? Let's try sunflower twice. And maybe this one for... Do I have to... Oh, I got something without filling completely. Let's try... Oh, I don't have flasks anymore. So you would eventually increase the number of flasks, probably. From the looks of it, you would have room for more than one flask. If you see it, it's zero. It's zero, but there is this line here and that line here. Maybe you can fit 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 4 or 5 can fit there. And you add different abilities to that flask, whether it's defense, healing, whatever. But I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do. Maybe sleep. Okay, now it's
All right,
better.
now. I'll take you somewhere safe, but that's it. You can't stay with me.
Wait! We can't leave without Grandpa's dice! You can't just go walking around without dice. You can use them if you need to fight again.
Hmm. Oh, ritual belt. Before your next ritual challenge, by assigning better checks to your belt, you have a greater chance to win. Aha. Affects all dice within radius, reduces 1 point to dice value. In a line. Okay, so I have all 3 of those equipped. And then eventually you would probably decide which artifact to stake. Y, move. So this is walked, but later it will get unwalked and I could probably select one and click Y. And that's probably gonna move it, maybe. Ritual challenge. From this point on, Pseudo can challenge intelligent creatures to the ritual. Look for the prompt that will briefly show at the bottom of the screen. Enemies can also choose to initiate the ritual.
Is there anyone who can take care of you?
I don't know.
Anyone who knew your grandpa?
My brother, but
And my mouse
he
kind
doesn't
of
want to
stopped
see me.
behaving.
Where is he?
In the mountains?
Too far out of my way.
And probably have to wait
Maybe
for this
someone from
dialogue.
Gemini's palace could take you there. She's always got messengers going back and forth, taking care of her business.
Okay, let's go back there. Okay, now I can finally... This is equipped now. 3 skill points available. Where do I use them? Maybe I need to go to the dummy? Maybe? Okay, assign skill point. Power, endurance, aggressiveness, constitution. So this is damage resistance and stun resistance. This one is the damage and stun of some combat stances and special attacks. So if you notice here those numbers, give you an idea of how much it changes. Endurance, I mean the guard is increased. Increase the damage and stun of some combat stances and special attacks, as well as the stamina guard. I'm not sure how to do stamina guard yet. And this is for all combat stances and do I have some other stuff unlocked? No. Which way do I go? Man, it's very stuttery. Just a moment. Maybe that would be better. Eh, I don't know what my FPS is. The game refuses to show me through the NVIDIA overlay, unfortunately. But I can feel stutters. I could switch on, what is it, FPS monitor. I could switch to FPS monitor, but my copy is free, and it has an annoying message that it's free, and I probably should buy the paid version if it's not too expensive. Maybe if it's under $10, I can probably get a license. We'll see. Where is it? Scenes. I'm not seeing it. Just a moment. Why am I not seeing it? It's supposed to show it. It's supposed. I'm trying to do something in the FPS monitor, but I'm not seeing the numbers for whatever reason. Ah, there it is. Are you seeing it on your side? I don't think you're seeing it on your side, which is nice. You are seeing it. You are actually seeing it on your side as well. And this is why I'm not a fan of this one. Otherwise, I wouldn't mind using it. Okay, let me switch it off. I'll buy the license if it's not that expensive later. Because it's a very good software. But Glitch Bomb, sup? How's it going? It's definitely been a minute since I've last seen you. Are you gonna be playing the Diablo 4 beta tomorrow? And if yes, what was your region?
It's locked from the other
Were
side.
you from UK? Or were you? I can't remember where you were from. Because if we're Europe, we can even try and play together if the servers let us. Most likely, the first day will be broken servers, and maybe the second day we might get to log in. We'll
Needed
see.
that.
I will be running a streamathon. No sleep, no sleep for as long as I can. And when I do feel extremely tired, then I will probably sleep for like 5-6 hours and then resume. Now only make very short breaks for food. I've bought a bunch of high protein food like jerky and stuff like that. I'll make myself some sandwiches. You're here to ask me questions about Diablo 4. Sure, I've never played the game, but to whatever extent I can answer, I will. Whatever I can, I'll try to answer. But keep in mind, I've never played the game before. I've watched developers play it. I've watched all the official videos and stuff. I've tried to inform myself as much as possible. Look at that ragdoll. How are you, by the way, Glitch Bomb? What games have been keeping you busy? What have you been playing lately? Okay. Oh, what the? Okay, we got that. Why do I see this screen? Did I just unlock a new rising punch? Okay. So with those two temps, you unlock new attacks, apparently. You're saying you're not gonna play the beta for sure. You will play the release, but not money related. Just don't wanna beta test it for them. Well, the one thing I think even if people don't wanna beta test is you should at least try to stress test the servers, because stress testing the servers now means we don't have to do it on launch. So even if you don't want to play it, just try to log in, maybe create a character, and then leave, then quit, and maybe something like that. They've already had a lot of closed beta testing, so this beta test is not for as much for bugs and glitches. It's more for server beta testing, because there's only so much you can do without letting people test the game when it comes to servers. Um, they will be whacked out on release, but the thing is they can get a lot of valuable data from the beta test that can help them on release. So even if it means we will have 3 days of downtime in the beta, so that on the launch of the day, on the launch date would be 1 day or 2 days instead of three. I still think people should at least help with stress testing, so they can have an idea how to tweak their scalability or whatever. Chris says his body is ready. Mine is as well. Blizzard servers are always struggling, yes, but I was happy with Overwatch. In 2 to 3 days it was
Locked.
fixed. It took them 2 to 3 days to do Overwatch, to make them better, to make the servers better. And if you look at Wosen, which was a much smaller team budget game, they struggled for close to a week, maybe more than half a week, um, to fix their servers. So hopefully Diablo on launch takes 1, 2, maybe maximum 3 days. But considering that there will be an open beta next weekend, not this weekend. This weekend is only for people who pre-order. Considering that next weekend everyone will be able to play. Just a moment, I need a feed sky. If there will be an open beta, hopefully everyone who has some interest in the game shows that interest by trying to log in, so they can see the unique number of users attempting to play the game. I also understand people that don't want to spoil their experience on launch. They don't want to spoil the story of the first act. And in the beta, you will be able to do the whole first act. For me, it doesn't matter whether I spoil it myself now or not, because I would whether I experience the story of Act 1 later or now, it's the same to me. But I understand some people would want to experience the whole thing in one go, um, without interruptions and stuff. And those beta tests are specifically for server stress testing and for interruptions. So things are to be expected. Jabuk has always been your game. You will play it on release for sure. Yeah, I know you're that type of a person. The hack and slash ARPG player. Gotti says, not my body. It's not dry. It's not ready. Only my mind, but still my mind is skeptical. My mind is also very skeptical. I mean, I made a whole article and a whole video about the things I am not happy with when it comes to Diablo, such as the experience rates, such as the respect cost, such as how they're handling PvP gear, pretty much not separating PvP gear from PvE gear, which again, very bad way to handle PvP in a game, to not separate in a water game, to not separate the PvP from PvE items. Where am I supposed to go? I'm kind of out of ideas where I need to go. This happens a lot in this game, and I'm not a fan of that. I'm not a fan of situations where I can't figure out where I'm supposed to go. Okay, there it is. Oh, and the FPS is stuttering big time. Wait, there was something there. But for me as a creator, it's a must-play situation with the beta, because I will have a lot of useful information. I can even make some guides based off of that information. I can download my streams and use the footage of that to make some guides without having to stop streaming and record specifically for it. And I can just take screenshots off of my streams. There will be my camera there on the screen, but eventually I can just change that. Eventually I'll just take screenshots post-launch, make proper guides.
This is outrageous.
But the knowledge is super important for me that I can obtain from the beta. And I hope those of you that don't want to play the beta would still be here watching, unless you want to avoid spoilers and stuff. But again, it's just the first act, and I'll be doing it on all characters in that first act. How did I die? I had almost full HP. I have no idea why I died. Yeah, thank you. Not sure how long you will keep starting fresh with each season. Same here. That's another thing I fucking detest. Forcing your player base to start fresh. And the thing is, Diablo 4 is making it even worse. Because starting fresh and high experience rates is a good combo. But they are not only making you start fresh, it will take you 150 180 hours to reach max level, to reach level 100. And if you want to play different characters, that's 800 and something hours, 850 hours roughly. If you 750 hours, pardon me, 750 hours roughly, just to level up every character to level 100. But that's excluding reaching level 100 and doing farming at that point. That's not min-maxing numbers, that's just leveling up numbers. And let's say you don't want to play every single character, just a few of them. That's still a lot. Let's say you want to play 3 different characters or 2 different characters. That's still 150 to 180 hours per character. And yes, you will be able to craft experience elixirs with materials that boost your experience, and you will be able to get from the season boosters that boost the experience you gain on outs. But even with that, it's still too grindy, and it makes no sense to have seasons where you have to start over, and then to force people into better spec costs, and on top of that to make terrible experience rates. This would make in a game like Grim Dawn, where you never have to start over. Anything you've put into a character remains there. It's never lost. It's not a swap in the face every 3 seasons, or more like a dick swap in the face, in Diablo 4's case. But it's Blizzard, I mean. Sexual misconduct and dick swaps are their thing. hopefully with Microsoft in the mix, maybe there will be some massive changes to the bad game design that Diablo has. Hopefully. Which character? All of them. I don't have a main. Maybe the first one I level up will be Sork. Because I have a nostalgia and I like playing mages. But after Sork, I have only two options on the first beta. First beta is Sork, Barbarian, Rogue. Second beta, next weekend, we will be able to play Necro and Druid as well. So far, my favorites seem to be Necro, Druid, and Sork. In terms, actually, Sork not so much. To be honest, I'm very disappointed with Lightning Sorks. Extremely disappointed with what I'm seeing in Lightning Sorks, but we'll see. We'll see how it will be after the beta on launch. Ice Sorks and Flame Sorks are solid, especially Flame. But I really like the diversity in Druid setups. Druid is probably the most diverse in different ways to build him. All of them super unique. And I do like, I do have my favorite skills with Barb, and I do have my favorite skills with Rogues, but I never main. I just have first character and next character and next character and next character. What I start with every season will depend on a lot of things. I would try to start every season with a character that I think I can level up quickly, except season 1. Season 1 we'll see, because there will be a lot of meta shifts and a lot of changes between the beta and the launch. So I want to know what is decent, but I will try to pay attention to patch notes and stuff before each season. So I will try to start with a character, with a setup that I think would get me to end game quickly, so I can unlock some experience boosters for my outs. Yeah. Let's go, let's go. Oh, motherfucker. Oh, come on, come on. It was like one hit left. But yeah, most likely tomorrow I will make a sorcerer first. And after that, we'll see. Maybe a barbarian or a rogue. I mean, I won't have other choices. It will be barbarian or a rogue, or a sorcerer tomorrow. Those three. I want to start with the range setup, and I want to start with spellcasting. So Sork it is. If I had Druid or Necro in the first weekend, maybe I would have started with some of those. And I want to do melee on the second one, so maybe I could try something like a Juggler Barbarian or Barbarian with that extra damage passive. We'll see. Although we won't have those passives, we won't have the capstones. So all those builds I made, they were building around the passives, the capstones. So not so much to think of when you only have 25 levels. It's a different story. Glitchbomb needs a build with perma channeling skills like Whirlwind for long grinds. Well, the thing is, we don't know how permanent the channeling of Whirlwind is, but I did make a Whirlwind build called Bladestorm. And there is a beam skill on the sorcerer. disintegrate or whatever it's called, or incinerate. I can't remember the name. And I did make a fire build, and the fire build, the starfall build with meteor. This can be played as a channeling build, one way or another. But I'll probably make a specific new setup later on for channeling, where I focus on this regeneration. The thing is, I only know 118 legendary aspects. I know of 118 legendary aspects. Most likely in this beta there will be more. Most likely, even if we only have access to those 118 in this beta, that doesn't mean we won't have more yeah, on launch. Need to stack cooldown reduction stat, but not well. Why do you need cooldown reduction? Wait, I don't remember Whirlwind requiring cooldown. You just need Fury generation, and that's it. Um, let me look at my. Just a moment. Let me share my screen. If I'm not mistaken, Whirlwind was a core skill, and core skills cost Fury. They don't have. They have resource cost. They don't have. They don't have a cooldown. See Fury skills. Hammer of the Ancients. I'll probably love using that skill. Rent Upheaval, Double Swing, Whirlwind. Fury cast costs 20 Fury per second. And you gain 1 Fury each time Whirlwind deals direct damage to an enemy, or 6 Fury if the enemy is stunned. So a great synergy for Whirlwind builds would be Ground Stomp. Basically, what I would do with Whirlwind is, what you do is you do this, the chain, Steel Grasp. So you pull them, boom, pull the enemies, Ground Stomp to stun, and then start spinning. And as a bonus, you can do something like Warcry, to give yourself and allies increased damage and berserking, or you could do something else, Leap. If Leap damages at least one enemy, gain Fury. So that's something you could do. Without Wrath of the Berserker buff, you don't need Wrath of the Berserker to get Berserking. There's other ways to get Berserking. And Wrath of the Berserker, we didn't say that we're not that you don't need to take it. You can take Wrath of the Berserker, obviously, and that's my favorite ultimate, to be honest. I don't like this one or this one as much personally. So you want this one for the Fury. You can get Fury here, you can get Fury here. This one's not that great for a Whirlwind build, but this one would give you 9 Fury at max rank, max level. And on Whirlwind you can either do an Unbridled Rage, or you can do Unconstrained. I personally think Unbridled Rage would be more than enough. You wouldn't need that Berserk bonus. And yeah, basically for Whirlwind you take Wrath of the Berserker, you take Steel Grasp to pull the enemies, and then you stun the enemies with you pull them, then you stun them with Stomp, with Ground Stomp, and Ground Stomp generates Fury itself. And once you have all those stunned enemies, you start spinning, get extra stuff, and that could be your combo. That way you're keeping the enemies close to you, so when you're spinning, you're hitting all of them. And if you have some swows and stuff, if you have all sorts of crowd control, if you have all sorts of good things, and as a main skill, you can probably use maybe Flay. There's many things to do. I mean, Frenzy is not bad, but let's say you're doing two-handed bleeding something, a weapon, swashing weapon, or something like that. Or even that one for stunning, so you can stun enemies. I guess it doesn't matter which one you do, but this one is solid because even more generation. But there's a lot of good stuff when it comes to Whirlwind. If you look at my, if you look at this guide, I posted this today. Those are the aspects listed. This is on my website. Eventually, I'll make it as a video. If you look at where is Barbarian, I'd put it at the bottom. If you look at Barbarian and Whirlwind, chance to summon an ancient, that's not so good, but this one, crit strike increase for each second it is channeled. So this is nudging you towards a build where you keep Whirlwind going for a long time. And then each time your core skill deals direct damage to an enemy, your leap deals extra damage. Boom, nice and good to get that. Shouts are also nice. There's a lot of good stuff. But in Diablo 3, you have that build where the faster you move, the more damage you do. And becomes a zero brain build. It becomes hold a button kind of build. The brain dead build. Uh, um, I'm not sure if Diablo 4 will have something that boring, but we'll see. We'll see if there are boring brain dead single button press and hold builds. I think you still need to do some sort of rotation. Furious charge with what was Furious charge? Oh, you mean upgraded charge for Furious? Yeah, it's good. Although I do prefer personally. I personally prefer leap for mobility skill and shit hits the fan kind of skill, and it also generates solid amounts of fury. But charge is another amazing skill. But furious charge, what do you mean by furious? Do you mean mighty or power charge? Because there is charge, then enhanced charge, and then mighty charge and power charge. Not sure what you mean when you say furious charge. Charge can stand and generate fury from what I'm seeing. Let me show you. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Again. What charge does is become unstoppable, rush forward, pushing enemies, then swing through them, damaging and knocking them back. Then with the first upgrade, enemies who are knocked back by terrain into terrain. So you have to knock them into terrain, not into each other or anything. You have to knock them into terrain. It stuns. I really love this, but it requires the player to be good at controlling the charge. But I used to laugh on walls and playing something similar. That skill where you're moving through the terrain through the map faster, and then boom, you stop and do a massive stun or whatever. And then you also make them vulnerable. But I think it's called Mighty Charge. Furious, Furious is the first upgrade for core skills. Then you have tactical and strategic for defensive, and for charge you have mighty and power. You're probably referring to mighty charge. Damaging enemies with charge makes them vulnerable. Or you maybe mean the one that reduces the cooldown, which I really like because there's other ways to make enemies vulnerable. But regarding generating fury, it might be it's a different way to generate fury. You need to use certain aspects. But there is no fury generation on that one. Whereas on leap you do have fury generation if it hits one or more enemies, at least one enemy. And also this one, killing enemies with core skills, which Whirlwind is, gives you fury. And if you use Rent, which again you cannot on a Whirlwind, well, you still can use it on a Whirlwind build, but not advisable. You have two core skills. But in general, yeah, there is no fury generation. I mean, that's why I prefer leap over charge. But the stun on charge if you use it properly is good. But again, you have something as good. You have something as good as ground stomp. What more do you need than the ground stomp and what was the chain skill? I forgot the name. Steel grasp. Steel grasp was it? Steel grasp. Steel grasp. Steel grasp and ground stomp. There isn't a better combo for whirlwind, in my opinion. If you want to quickly get every single straggler that is not next to you, put the straggler next to you, and then stun them immediately. Um, you do that when you run out of fury, and then you can do a few hits of those enemies with whirlwind that are stunned. And there's other ways to stun enemies. Keep in mind there's many ways to if you use stun here. And by the way, those spreadsheets they're publicly available. You can try and use them yourself. There's links under my builds for them. But there's many ways to stun, including this one that can stun far away enemies if they hit you. Although not that great, but then you have aspect of shared misery. Aspect of shared misery, the moment you crowd control an enemy, this is one of my favorite things in the game, one of my favorite non-class specific aspects. When you crowd control an enemy, there is a chance to crowd control another nearby enemy that is not affected by that, and that could end up chain stunning an enemy by that. So yeah, whirlwind definitely solid choice with ground stomp. Ground stomp doesn't have that massive of a cooldown, and the stun duration from 3 seconds goes to 4 with this. And you can even remove this fury generation. Let's say you have plenty, and you want to just reduce the cooldown of your ultimate. If you want to use that berserking more often, but overall, I think Wrath of the Berserker, together with Whirlwind, together with Ground Stomp, together with Steel Grasp, and here, whether you do Unbridled or Unconstrained, both are good options. I personally would go on this way for a Whirlwind. As for the Fury Generator, I think it's whatever people like there. But we definitely need a Fury Generation, just not sure which one is best. Bash is good because single target stuns. This is only a single target skill. It could still generate Fury, it could still stun. But then you have stuff like that. Crit strikes with Lunging Strike, granting you Berserking, which is lovely. Then you have this one, using Swashing Weapon, 30% chance to make enemies vulnerable. Pretty good if you ask me. And then also this one has 10% chance to make enemy vulnerable for 2 seconds. Double this chance when using two-handed weapon, and that's pretty solid. Although this is 20% chance with a two-handed swashing, this is 30% chance with a two-handed swashing weapon. Yeah, and this also gives you a chance to get berserking, whereas that one doesn't. So I personally would take this one with that setup. Yes, charge hits harder on elites and bosses, but going whirlwind for elites and bosses is not the best. And yeah, that's why you would need some secondary sources of stuff, because whirlwind is more of an AoE skill. It's more of a trash killing setup. But why are you comparing ground stomp with charge? They are in a different category. Ground stomp is competitor to leap. Not ground stomp. Charge is competitor to leap. Ground stomp is challenging shout, iron skin, and rallying cry. It's a defensive skill. So why would you compare charge and ground stomp? Again, charge and leap are your mobility skills. There are no other mobility skills in the game. I mean, if you want to go leap and charge, that's fine. But I personally would take only one of those two skills, unless you want super mobility. But I wouldn't sacrifice ground stomp to take a second mobility skill on a whirlwind build. Again, this is your setup. You can maybe take whatever core skill. I would take lunging. Then you take whirlwind as a core skill. As a defensive skill, you take ground stomp. Unless you really want to go rallying cry. If you want to go rallying cry, that's also a good thing. If you want to go challenging shout, also a good thing. But for challenging shout to generate fury, you have to make sure you have a lot of defensiveness, a lot of thorns and stuff like that, maybe as well on a whirlwind build, and that would be fun. Thorns whirlwind build could work well, because you generate fury as you get hit. How you used your build, but in general, I do think you don't have to choose between ground stomp or charge. You can have both of them. Don't get leap, get charge. That's fine. Not sure how good leap would be for this fury generation. As long as you have one of those in a build, then you don't have to take this item, the ghost walker or whatever it was called. Where is it? Ghost walker. Because if you don't have leap or charge, in my opinion, this is a must-have to move freely through enemies when you're below 40% life. Otherwise, shit hits the fan and you're surrounded, and there is no way for you to escape without leap and charge. And this might save your life if you don't have the ability to get away. So okay, enough of that. Let's go back to Quash. You can see I'm extremely excited about this game because there's so many things. I'm a big fan of theory crafting, and I love when we talk about stuff. I love those conversations when we're talking about skills and discussing possible combos and stuff like. Oh, I've missed something here earlier. But this game that I'm playing, I'm struggling to figure out where to go. I'm having a hard time finding my way. I'm seeing I need to get there, but I'm not seeing how I'm supposed to get there. I can jump down from here, as I did earlier. Oh, that's a new enemy. Oh yeah, that's the ones that got me.
He's not.
Oh fuck, it doesn't pause the game.
You will learn to fear. I'm almost certain of it.
You want me to test the beta test whirlwind? If I will test it, but again, we won't have the capstone. 25 levels. If I'm not mistaken, will mean 24 skill points. You need 23 skill points invested to unlock the ultimate. So that means you would barely be able to get the ultimate, but the capstone requires 33 points invested. So I can test very few things, but keep in mind there are paragon trees, and the paragon trees are like a mini skill tree on its own. Every class has like 5, 6, 7 paragon boards. Every class has like 5, 6, 7 paragon boards, and in those boards, not sure if you've seen the images from last year. Let me try and open up something on the screen for everyone to see, because if I'm gonna talk about something, I'd rather you have a look at it. So in those trees, as you can see, you have multiple of those big boards, and they connect. with each other, and each of those boards has a very special, unique, legendary kind of ability that it's kind of like a legendary aspect, but inside the skill tree that you can reach. The majority of this is stats. The majority of this is raw stats, strength, intelligence, stuff like that. But there are places where you would be able to socket a sigil, not sigil, a glyph. Would be able to socket a glyph. And those glyphs would be kind of like Path of Exile socket gems for the skill tree, similar to that. But you would also want to get all the way to something good, something like this cluster, something like this one here. I think this one here is either a place for a glyph, or maybe that's the legendary thingy about it. This is old work in progress from November 2022. Probably things changed a lot since then. What I heard about this is you get 4 Paragon points after level 50 for each level, for a total of 200 Paragon points at max level, if I'm not mistaken. But to take this with the whole salt shaker of salt, not just a grain. So what would be happening with that? This is a big chunk of your build. And skill tree is the skill tree is the starting point. It's the skeleton. The skill tree and the aspect are the skeleton, the foundation of your build. But then you enhance that build with the Paragon board and with stat rows and re-rows of stats. So there's a lot of depth there, a lot of depth to look into. I think the way here is clear and I can progress further. This is where I died earlier.
Frog! Thank you for saving me.
Couldn't just leave you there.
Did I get back my stuff? Oh, the stuff is gone. For whatever reason, I've lost that stuff. 3 skill points available. Okay. Can I make a camp here? Oh, that boy. A rogue is amazing. This volatile build, my last rogue build I made. I'm very keen to try this. Also, Arrow Storm and Volatile. Those 2 rogue builds from the 4 rogue builds I made. I think those are the 2 I'm looking forward to trying a lot. The Volatile Rogue is a melee setup that has a lot of explosions. It has so many explosions that Mr. Torque from Borderlands would play this build if he were to play Diablo 4. You have 2 volatile aspects, and it's using both of them, and you have that victimize capstone for explosions, which is amazing for extra explosions and stuff. So if Chris is playing rogue, what rogue do you wanna try? What skill has your interest? I'm a big fan of Rain of Arrows kind of build. So I'm happy with that, but I'm also a big fan of melee builds with a lot of explosions. So definitely those are probably the 2 things I want to test out in the beta. I'm not sure where to go. Bit by bit, I'm unlocking new things. Rock. Who here is on Europe and wants to play together in the betas? When Diablo starts, I'll even make a Quan for my community. Not gonna take it too seriously and do some Quan battles, PvP and stuff. Just as a social hub. Pretty much my vision for how guilds and Quans in a game should be is nothing more than just a social hub for people to gather and group up together. No levels of guilds, no levels of Quans, no competition and stuff like that. That makes it overpowered. That gives advantage of an old Quan over a new one because of levels and buffs and stuff. Hopefully Diablo doesn't do the Diablo Immortal stuff with Diablo 4. Hopefully, because this is this thing where you have Diablo 3, not Diablo 3, Diablo Immortal versus Diablo 3 style of Quants. I would always take Diablo 3 style of social hubs for people to just come together, have a chat, maybe find teammates and stuff like that, rather than the one where you're forcing people to be online and active and do stuff. You have to be active, you have to give me fun experience so that I can level up the fucking Quan. This whole mindset that that MMOs have pushed onto Quans and guilds with Quan levels and Quan buffs. I detest it in my fucking guts like a fucking hemorrhoid. It's so bad and annoying. Should we sleep? Let's sleep to get some rest. Speaking of hemorrhoids, there's a high risk of hemorrhoids this weekend. People will be sitting in one place for a very long time. Who knows? Maybe some people took Friday off so they can have the whole weekend to Diablo. So make sure you stand up every now and then. You don't want to get a hemorrhoid from sitting too much. Ah shit. Okay. Now I'll learn a new stance. Okay. Now I've unlocked mammoth stance. Oh, so you have 3 starting stances, but there are more than those 3 starting stances. Nice. And by the way, if you look at this thing, it tells you how much each core coded stat has an effect on that one. This one is majorly influenced by power. This one is what, maybe 70% power, 15% endurance, and 15% aggressiveness, roughly. Rising punch mostly affected by aggressiveness, a little bit by power. So I like that visual representation of what stats you might wanna max out for which abilities and stuff. I also wonder how do I use that rising punch that I've got. Let me check the controls. Maybe I switch the special attacks with the button. Change stance. XZ. How do I change special attacks? What the spacebar do? Dodge, okay. Parry is R. Wait, what does Q do? Does Q do anything? Q? It doesn't. Maybe I can make healing Q. I think Druid definitely will be one of the best characters to use in a party. Druid and Barbarian in a party will be massive. Stacking up all the Shout Barbarian and the right type of buffy Druid. And if you have a Necro with a lot of minions in that team, you can see some nice team synergies there. But I'm a big fan of Druids right now, especially that that setup I made, the Storm Ward. It seems super fun to try. As for Necrus, I think I would try a build with a single golem and sacrificing the rest, or maybe a setup that, maybe a setup like the Mr. Bones that sacrifices all minions for pure solo necro spell-based damage. I mean, there's just so much build diversity. I'll have so little time considering how much grindy the game would be. There would be a lot of things I would want to try, but if there are no ways to level up super quickly, it will be super bad. And considering people told me that it's exorbitantly expensive, and to forget about completely switching a build on one character to another build that uses all 6 skills different and different passives and stuff. Most likely I would have to make build videos on paper where I'm only switching a couple of skills rather than fully changing the build, because it's gonna be grindy to make a full switch of the setup, unless Blizzard becomes the good guys and makes reasonable respect costs, or fully removes the fucking respect costs that shouldn't be there in the first place. I'm not sure what I have to do in this game. I keep getting lost and not knowing where to go. I'm assuming I need to go this way, probably. This game has one of the most confusing level designs I've seen. Okay, this is definitely not where I needed to go. But maybe there. I need to get there somehow. Can I do it through here? Seems like I can. Use figurine burners to upgrade your skills. Aha. Oh. Oh, this one's better damage. Okay, I'm gonna try this stance. Ah, that's how I do rising. This one and down. Aha. Okay, let's change the stance.
Gotta be hard to get ahead. That's just how it is. Life gives you nothing unless you take it. So what if it's sad for the boy? Boo-hoo.
Oh, whoa. Okay. Yeah, this one is definitely very, very heavy hitting. The mammoth stance. I do think from the rogue skills, Caltrops is top tier skill. With the thing that makes your crit chance against targets affected by Caltrops higher. I think this is a big skill that can be squeezed into every build, regardless whether it's ranged, melee, traps, whatever. Normally in games, scout drops quite often is a trash skill that's rarely used. But in Diablo 4, they've kind of made scout drops um, a very useful skill, especially for AoEing builds.
Good.
Oh, and by the way, we know the times when the boss will spawn. Another thing I'm not a fan of: massive, huge boss spawn cooldown timers. I fucking hate this that they took from MMOs. It just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit for us to have it that way. Just a moment to find the image. Where did I save it? I'm pretty sure I put it under Diablo 4 general directory. Yeah. So Ashava, this is the boss we would have. The world boss. On times on Saturday, 10 a.m. PDT, 12 p.m. PDT, which I'm assuming is 2 hours later, and then 10 p.m. PDT, and then 12 a.m. PDT. Do they mean 12 a.m. PDT as midnight, or do they mean I'm not sure. I think that's it. I think 2 hours after this, so at midnight. It's much better if you use 23, 24 and stuff like that instead of AM, PM bullshit. But yeah, I think this is 10 in the morning. This is at noon, 12 noon. This is 10 in the evening, and this should be midnight. And that's when it spawns. So you can only get it 4 times every weekend. Hopefully, when the game launches, they change this, because this is super shitty, forcing you to be online at certain times. It is bad. And look at the interval. 2 hours interval is acceptable. It's kind of my maximum limit should be 90 minutes for massive bosses, and for small bosses 10-15 minutes. And for very small bosses 5-7 minutes. But this one is kind of not that far from the 2 hour interval. But then from here to here, that's 10 hours. And also from here to here, another 10 hours. So on average, 4 times a day is very bad. It should be no less than 12 times a day that the boss spawns throughout those 24 hours. But they decide to go. Let's pretend we are an MMO in a game that's far from an MMO, and have one of the worst things in MMO games: huge boss spawn timers that force people to log in at specific hours, and not everyone can log in at those specific hours. PDT should be Pacific time. Yeah, I guess the current Pacific time. That's another thing I don't like. When they do daytime, nighttime, summertime, wintertime, whatever, why does the time zone have to change? Yes, I understand having to go up and down with the hours for daylight saving, but why does the time zone have to go from +2 to +3 in my country, and then from +3 to +2, and then they write GMT, which makes zero sense because the Greenwich meridian never changes. If they change it UTC to only reflect the new changes, but the GMT to always remain fixed. You have Greenwich meridian at 0, so GMT plus 0 is always Greenwich meridian 0, and then from there it goes there. But they change it. My country is GMT plus 2, but then it changes to GMT plus 3, then back to plus 2, and it's not like the Greenwich meridian moves. It's just that someone decided to do that. It makes sense with UTC. UTC is the standard that makes sense to be able to do such atrocities like moving the plus up and down when you change summertime. But with the Greenwich meridian, it makes no sense because the meridian never moves. It remains in that position, as far as I know. Why can't I climb here? Okay, I climbed. And again, I'm at a place where I have no idea where I need to go. There's a lot of those in this game. Points where I get stuck without an idea where to move to. Let's go back up there. See, maybe I've missed a jump or something. I know I can jump there. And then what here? Now I'm back in this place. I don't know where I'm supposed to get. It would get... No, I understand moving the time. I'm telling you, I'm not against moving the time 1 hour ahead and 1 hour down. I'm against this standard where the time zone changes. You don't need to change the time zone numbering. It can remain +2, +3. It can... We don't have to go to +3. We can still be +2. We can still turn the clocks up and down without changing how we address the zone. It's not gonna change magically something by calling +3 +2, because that's pretty much what we're doing. We're calling +2 a +3 when in fact it's still a +2 because it's still 2 hours ahead of the actual Greenwich meridian, which is a fixed point geographically. So I'm not against daylight saving, changing the clock, turning the clock up and down. I'm against the bullshit where us and other countries, when they say GMT +2 +3 and they move it. There is a standard for that, and it should be UTC. UTC should be the standard that is used for moving the number. But in GMT, the number should remain static because the meridian is static. And it's super stupid to change that number. Why would they mess it? I think it's the other way around. Having to change your time zone, it's much easier to remember one time zone. I'm in Bulgaria +2. That's it. We are 2 hours ahead of UK. UK is 0, and they're the meridian time zone. And then suddenly I have to call my time zone +3 rather than +2. That's actually more confusing the way it is right now, where it changes to +3 from +2 than the other way around. It's much easier to remember this time is x minus or x plus than having to remember two numbers. If someone tries to convince me that it's easier to remember two numbers than one number, fuck logic. I find it much easier to only remember one number than two. And to keep track when that
Where are
number
we?
changes,
Gemini's
which is the
palace.
problem.
3 gates, each with a guardian.
I don't mind it
No one
changing
goes in.
on UTC, but why on
You
GMT as
going to
well?
fight them?
No, we're just here to wait until a messenger
But in general,
passes
the number
through.
doesn't even need to change.
We'll
You
trade
just need
some
to
of your
turn your
dice.
clock up
Have a messenger
or
take it
down
to the mountains.
1 hour when needed. The other thing changing is completely unnecessary. It's not like suddenly the Earth shifts and the time zones somehow move.
I'm looking for someone who can...
Come in. The gate's open.
I'm just waiting for a messenger.
If you have business, go inside. If you don't, go away. Either way, I don't care.
Okay, so we're not fighting this guy. I want to touch his nose. When I see someone with such a nose, I want to touch it. This big massive oinky oink nose. Oh, this guy sells weapons and stuff. So another thing you can do with materials apparently in this game, use them as currency.
I will make what you need.
Use them as currency to craft stuff. Oh, and it's not just for weapons, you can also make armor. And even accessories for the boy. But can I cannot preview the stats. Oh, never mind, I can. I think I can preview the stats.
Life.
Power and durability.
From life, Earth.
So right now this one is 24 durability. This one will give me 3 power and 30 durability. 1 endurance, 1 aggressiveness and 45 durability. 1 aggressiveness, 1 durability. 1 constitution, 2 cold protection. I have 1 constitution and power on all. Oh, actually the other one is 3 and this one is 2. So this gear right now that I've got is better than what I can craft here. Unless I want to sacrifice power for endurance and stuff like that. Or cold protection. As for the boy accessories, it seems to be just cosmetic. This doesn't give anything.
Good journeys.
This is the second gate.
Okay. I still don't have another slot for a flask. I can still only hold 1 flask. Wanna see what's here. Leather pouch. Oh, okay. Picked up some materials. The game is rewarding me for exploring. Another leather bag with stuff.
That's Moonson. They say he's never lost a fight. They say a lot of things. Who knows?
I can challenge him probably.
Gemini is expecting you.
What time is it?
Something
20.
doesn't smell right. This is too easy. Wait here.
Okay.
Okay. Where is Gemini?
I assume you're here about the boy.
Oh wow,
We
that's why
need
it's
the
Gemini.
boy.
That's
5 hits,
that's
5
right.
headed.
Good. Very good. If your
Or maybe 2 of them are
information is
real.
useful,
Oh, actually
you'll
it's
get
6
paid.
heads.
But don't waste my time. That's a mistake you can only make once.
Noted.
So where did you see him? Was the old man still with him?
The old man was his grandfather, but he's dead.
Sad.
The child is undamaged.
Pretty much.
Good. I don't care about the old man. It'll be easier without him. But listen to me very carefully. You and every other meathead mercenary is going to have to remember this. I need the child alive. If he's dead, he can't help me.
Heal me.
So that's why you want him.
The details don't concern you. Now, where did you see him?
Careful.
I'm not sure anymore. I have a bad memory.
I warned you not to waste my time. Do you even understand how much power I have? How easily I could crush you?
Huh. I guess sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
What the fuck?
I don't like her.
Nobody does. Too much power makes people ugly. So why is old Gemini so
Too
keen
much
on
power
getting her
makes
hands
people
on you?
ugly.
What makes her think you can
Do I
keep
want to
her
become powerful
better
then?
half from rotting away?
I want to have the ugliest,
Cursed.
the ugliest Diablo 4
It's why
character
Grandpa is
then.
dead. It's why my brother hates me. I'm cursed.
Why did Twitch censorship AF? Wow, AF. Okay, allowed. I just realized my Twitch bot,
I'll show
my
you.
Twitch auto moderation blocked a message for the AF. How would someone? Why is AF? Yeah, sure. The what stands behind behind AF could be vulgar language, but just writing them like that, unless someone knows what it means, then it's not really offensive. AF.
It can heal, but it can also hurt.
I mean, I could write AB, and it could mean something offensive, because
was
I think it means something offensive.
Something special.
Extra aggressive bot. Censoring abbreviations. Your message is constantly being checked by mods and not sent. Yeah, this is Twitch auto moderator. Every time I see something like that, I can just click at a wow, and then it makes it allows it as a permanent term. Vulgar language in my channel is allowed. I mean, If you don't know me, I'm maybe my second nickname should be the Vooger
Curse.
Booger.
Says who?
Should I rename my
brother?
channel to the Vooger
And where
Booger?
exactly is that brother of yours?
He won't want to see me.
The
You wanna
Vooger
stay with
Booger,
Gemini?
Struktjev,
No,
the
no.
Wood Fiend,
All right,
Ditem
little
Hor.
bird, then I'll take you to your brother. Where is he?
In our village.
So
The
definitely
Synaptic
Vooger
Mountains.
language,
That's
profanity
a
is
long
allowed.
way. And we'll
Now
have to head through the
racism and all
town.
that stuff that
Not my
is not
favorite
allowed
place in
in
the
general. Obviously, it's not allowed.
Well,
Common sense.
no use sailing against the wind. Let's go.
But one can use vulgar language without being a dick. Like shit, fuck, and so on. To express frustration and stuff like that. In fact, even words that could be offensive, like the R word used for the bad R word used for people who have mental how do I say it, disabilities. Even that word, if you use it to not address a person, even if you use the word to not address a person but a situation, then obviously it shouldn't be offensive, but some people would get triggered. But again, even using something like there are words that have become known to be words used as swears towards something, not towards like for example there is an F word to describe a homophobic F word that pretty much started. The homophobic F word started as an origin, came from the word in English, a word that you can say as a cigarette butt, cigarette end. So if you use that word to describe a cigarette end, it shouldn't be offensive. But some people will get triggered if you use that word, the three letter and when you're in UK, I've spent a lot of time in the UK, people use it daily to describe your cigarette end. They would say, can I bum a? And the three letter F word to ask you, can I get a cigarette out of you? But there's so many words that can trigger people. Nowadays, there's it's like a landmine, especially for people like me that stream. It's like a landmine. You might use a word to not address a person, but rather a situation, and then someone could say, "Oh, he's using this to offend a group of people." But yeah, it's weird. Nowadays, everyone is looking for ways to become a victim and get attention by being a victim. You can. There is this stand-up comedy special, the newest one from Chris Rock on Netflix, Selective Outrage. He describes it extremely well, how people decide to be selectively outraged by certain things, selectively unhappy with one person who did the same thing as another person, but that other person is not in trouble, but this one person is in trouble, and that there's different ways to get attention, and one of them is to become a victim. And he again says it that not to offend people who are real victims out there, who have undergone unspeakable trauma and stuff like that. But there are also people who try to make themselves the victim of stuff that's trivial, that's not really being a victim. That's not real trauma and stuff like that. So watch watch the Netflix special, Chris Rock Selective Outrage, and you'll see what I mean. He explains it very well. He explains it very well. And yeah, that's nowadays. So, oh, I see. I need to go here. Man, I was wondering what I'm supposed to do here to climb. Freedom of speech. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this word because there isn't much freedom of speech.
Watch out!
Yeah,
Pseudo!
you're free to say
Those cruel
stuff,
terrors.
but then people are also free to get offended by what you say if you use something that can trigger them. And obviously, if you don't mean to offend someone but say something that triggers someone, like for example, in Bulgaria, in Bulgaria we use the word bastard. Like we would say kople. Kople, what's up? We use bastard for dude. The word we use for bastard, we use it as a dude. So someone could get triggered. Nowadays, we can use the word kople, which means bastard, as what's up dude in Bulgaria, and someone could probably get triggered. Which I guess I haven't seen a situation or heard of a situation like that, but it could happen. But as a slang word, oftentimes bastard, the word for bastard in Bulgarian, is used as a synonym to dude. But yeah, nowadays, who knows? Maybe someone will get triggered by that. So it's how it goes. And again, as Chris Rock said it, someone gets cancelled for saying something that another person did, or doing something that another person did, but then that other person doesn't. So either treat everyone the same and want them to uphold the same standards, or just don't get angry for someone doing something and then the next person doing the next thing, not getting angry about them doing it. It's definitely a minefield nowadays, especially with social media and people loving to unite. People don't feel treated the same. What do you mean? Oh, that people don't like. Yeah. People want equality, but when it's real equality, then they're not happy when they're on the receiving end of the equality. I like treating people exactly the same. Regardless of background, of any type of background, I like treating people the same, and until they've earned more respect than the default dose of respect, they obviously won't get it. But when they do earn the dose of respect that's bigger than the default, they definitely will get it. I mean, I judge people by their actions. Let's say it that way. I judge people by their actions, and I treat them based on those actions. Regardless of background. I do the same with games. I judge games based on how they're treating me as a player. If a game doesn't treat me and respect my time, I just don't like it and I don't play it much. Unless it's Diablo 4, because I've decided to make Diablo 4 my main game, and even if I don't like it, I'll make content for it for the sake of the people, and for the sake of earning a living with that game. And already before the game has even released, I have serious concerns in many areas of the game. I mean, I graduated in the United Kingdom, and at the time I was studying there, my teacher's favorite word was politically correct. They kept using that word. They tried brainwashing us into how important politically correct and stuff is. But people should just be a decent human being. You don't need to be taught how to be a decent human being. how to not offend others with common sense and stuff. But it was that bad that they had to teach you left and right and repeat all the time how important um, being politically correct is. Which is weird if that was the case. What happens if I leave the area? Wait, I die if I leave the area? What's wrong with Diablo 4? You can go on my website or you can go on my YouTube channel and you can read my blog or watch the video. I'm just gonna give you a link because I can't tell you everything right now. It will take a while. I'll give you a link and you can read or watch the video with some of the things that I personally believe Blizzard are doing wrong with Diablo 4. I mean, um, there's more than that, but I pretty much tried to cover the major areas. Well, I'll give you a link, and in the link there is a video. There is a video in the link, so it's if you want you can watch the video. If you want you can read it. It's up to you. Just a moment. I think I forgot to put the tag. Okay, there it is. So just a moment. But in general, bad experience rates, terrible cost of respects, exorbitantly expensive respects after a certain level, zero balance and separation between PvP and PvE items. So you're using PvE items in the PvP. And I think I mentioned a few other things there. Overall, what else was there? Let me double check. I'm gonna double check what else was there. I keep forgetting stuff. Oh yeah, the potential griefing and queue stealing, but thankfully there won't be that much griefing and queue stealing because they're limiting how many people could be in the same area, same act, in the same server node or sub-server node or whatever you want to call it at the same time. So thankfully, I think they would be handling griefing and stuff like that. Okay, but there's the PvP, there's the respect cost, there's the experience rates. There's the seasons and having to start over every season, which combined with the WoW experience rates and the exorbitant respect costs is bad. I would accept shitty experience rates if you didn't have to start over every 3 months. You would work hard, you would earn those levels, you would max out a character, and that's fine. Then maybe you can start a new character of the same class with a different build because of the shitty respect cost. But at least you know you won't have to do the same in 3 months. But right now, Blizzard have confirmed it themselves in one of their developer videos that it would be better to level up a new character to level 100 than to respect. And leveling a character from to 100 takes from 150 to 180 hours for your first character. You do get something like Paragon levels. People told me that after level 50 you start earning Paragon levels. 4 Paragon levels per character level, 200 in total when you are level 100. So you start earning Paragon levels at level 51, 52 and so on until level 100. And they just give you points, Paragon points. So at level 100 you would have 200 Paragon points. You stop earning skill points at level 50. From there on, you have to get renown levels, and renown levels you gain by doing seasonal journey, by completing dungeons and bosses and stuff like that. That's what gets you renown levels, and those renown levels is how you get skill points after level 50. And in the closed beta, you only had 63, 64, or 65. I don't know the exact number skill points, which was around 49 or 50 from leveling up, and then the rest were from renown. So it remains to be seen how many levels, how many skill points, I mean, you can earn from renown. I hope we get at least 79 or 70 or 69 or more skill points, ideally. But again, this remains to be seen. But there is Paragon levels. I was talking about Paragons. The Paragon boards are a great way to add depth to a build. The skill tree and your items like aspects are just the beginning. They are just the foundations, the skeleton of your build. From there on, you have min-maxing the right stats, re-rolling your stats on items, as well as... Do I go here? As well as the Paragons and stuff like that. I don't even think the Paragons can be respected. I think the Paragons might be permanent. Hopefully they're not. Hopefully at least the Paragons, they let us freely respect as much as we want. If they would have huge costs for skill tree respects, at least the Paragons shouldn't. This is where I died. So that means I'm close to where that fight was. Enemies nearby, unavailable. There was a way to start to initiate that fight. I wanted to initiate the other one, but I can't. I wanted to initiate this dice game. I don't know how to initiate the dice game. I tried, I couldn't do it. Ah! Fuck, 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 fuck. Okay, I got those. You didn't know what, which didn't you know, IR Baboon? Which do you think sounds cringe? The respect cost, or what? Gladiator head? Wait, what? It's almost midnight. I'll have to stop soon to go and make something to eat. Which way do I go? I think there was a detour around here that I can take. Oh, and I can take my body.
You saved me.
What did you think I would do?
Camp. Let's camp. This game's interesting. A little difficult to get used to the combat system and the combos of it, but it's fun. Let's craft myself a potion. What can I do? I'm not sure. Again, another point in this game where I'm not sure where to go. And that's happening a lot with this game. And you don't want your users... well, I sure hope they don't want their users to constantly be wondering where they need to go. Because they're just wasting their time. Yeah, instead of them enjoying the game, they're running around trying to figure out where to go. And hopefully that's not what the main gameplay of the game is supposed to be. And that can easily be fixed by introducing some sort of markers or pointers that tell you where you might need to go. Kind of like they do it with the body. When you die, that tells you where your body is. And this can be a toggle, so people who want more immersion can just switch it off. And that brings me again to the topic of permanency versus non-permanency in games and builds. There are people who are purists that don't want respects in games. Then there's people who like me want free respect all the time, and there's people that are middle ground. But in general, I think it's best if you have good respect. You don't need to use it. If you're a purist, you can say, okay, I'm gonna do myself a challenge and not respect. I'll play the game as a purist. No one is stopping you from not respecting. No one is forcing people to respect. But why should people who want quality of life suffer and not have the quality of life? The same goes for exorbitant prices of respect. Because some people out there, probably no more than 5% of the player base of Diablo 4 would probably agree with the exorbitant respect costs and the so-called permanency of your builds. There's probably gonna be no more than 5% that would like that, and the other 95 should suffer for that. those people who want that permanency, no one is again telling them respect all the time. Try someone else's build, play someone else's build. If they wanna stick to a certain single build and only play that one, they're free to do that. But the rest of us have to suffer for the sake of the very vocal 5 or maybe even less percent of players who want that so-called permanency. And again, it's good to listen to your community, but sometimes it's not the right decision. So many games have fallen into the trap of listening to the minority, which is more vocal, because the average player won't go in forums, won't go in Discord, Reddit, or whatever, and give feedback there. The average player just boots the game and plays it. And then maybe reports a bug or two, but not many people do that. I love reporting bugs, especially if I can go press escape and report the bug from within the game, and the game maybe takes a screenshot of where I am and sends a bit of useful information of what's happening in the exact moment. Torchlight 3 in early access had such a function where it would send useful information such as the map you're into on the server and all sorts of information like that. So hopefully Diablo 4 has something like this. They do have forums though, Blizzard forums and so on, where people would be able to report stuff. I think I'm lost again. I think I don't know where to go. Maybe go back this way. In case it's almost midnight, so I'll stop playing very soon. Maybe try to find at least one more checkpoint. We did this so I can climb back up. That means I probably didn't need to go down there if this was just a shortcut and walk. Maybe this is the way. Yeah, I don't think I've been here. It looks new. What is it? Oh yeah, it is new. It's not letting me run anymore.
Pseudo, look at this.
You again. Get out of my way.
I'll take the child to Gemini, sir.
Give back the boy and I won't break your face. Not much of a talker, huh? Good. I hate chit-chat. But you still can't have him. I invoke the ritual.
Ritual, yes. Okay, this is where we use the artifacts. Terrible rose. Shit. 11 versus 7. Oh shit. Oh, he will definitely win this one. Fuck. Ah, motherfucker. Fuck. Man, I can't hit him anymore. Suddenly he became impossible to hit. Come on, and now he's just grabbing all the time. Motherfucker. Come on, he healed? He healed somehow. Oh, he
I'm
escaped.
getting too old for this cack.
Escaped. And what happened to the kid? We got figurines.
Pseudo! Help!
Don't worry, little bird. This is gonna be easy.
What? No, I'm very powerful. People fear me. Ask anyone.
I invoke the ritual.
I'll show you.
Let's get this one. I cannot use this one? I can, okay. Come on, RNG. Look at the RNG, it never gives me more than 3 in a die. Ones and twos. This is the worst I have seen the RNG be.
You're clearly going to lose, I think. This is not a problem.
There is no way I can catch up to him the way he's rolling the stats. He always gets a bunch of die that's over 4. I never get even a 4. I just get up to like 1s, 2s, and 3s. Wait, what? I lost because I left an area or what?
You will.
Never mind, I didn't lose, but
This is.
maybe I did some sort of a foul that allowed him, thanks to the ritual, to
Thank you, Pseudo. I knew
to
you'd
hit
help.
me, to get a free hits on me. Didn't I win some stuff from him? Some of those, what's it called? Specters, whatever. They call them a weird name. Well, it is midnight. It is midnight. I will stop here. I will stop here. I need to go and cook. I'll probably cook something like a bunch of rice and beans and chili con carne. And tomorrow, the thing is, in this new apartment, there is no microwave, and I have to buy one. I don't have it now, so I have to make stuff that I don't need to reheat for tomorrow for the stream, because this weekend I won't be making big breaks. I'll make one big break during the whole weekend to sleep for 5-6 hours, and otherwise I will just make small 5-6 minute breaks to just grab something from the kitchen and eat it here. So I'll make some food that I can eat even if it's cold. Or I can just let it reheat while I play on the stove. We'll see how it goes. I'll make a bunch of sandwiches. But yeah, I want to stop now rather than stream for another half an hour as I usually do, to start cooking early. Thanks again. Tomorrow 6 p.m. Bulgarian time, 4 p.m. United Kingdom time, 5 p.m. Central Europe time, 9 in the morning Pacific time. I think it's called PDT right now. So that's when the beta starts. So around that time, you should expect me to start streaming. I'll try to prepare thumbnails, everything ahead of time, obviously, but expect tomorrow in the stream a lot of standing on the queue. That's what this beta is about. It's about stress testing testing the servers, checking out how many people from which regions and whatever want to play the game, so they can expand the servers for each of those regions, the capacity of those servers, I mean. So keep it cool. Thanks for stopping by and watching yet another day. Until next time, and goodbye from me.